All right, so since this is for the test, this is going to be a little bit longer videos, so if you already understand this chart, you might want to fast forward a little bit. You have to know this chart, though, to really understand the cost curves and the changes that happen. So fixed costs, things like a business license, your fire insurance, Anastasia, I'm sorry, but you were right. I apologize. You were right. The oven, the machines, those would be categorized as fixed costs, at least in the short run. So, Anastasia, you were right. So I hope you're watching this. Fixed costs stay the same no matter what the quantity. So at the pizza place, no matter how many pizzas I make, the oven costs the same. Okay? Ignoring depreciation for all you accounting people out there. So if I make 1 million pizzas or whatever, I'm spending $500 no matter what. Okay, so this is forever. All right, variable costs, things like ingredients, boxes, perhaps number of employees, depending on how big my company is, maintenance materials, things that if I'm making more of something, I need more expenditures. So if I'm making more pizzas, I need more ingredients, I need more boxes, I need more employees. All right, so those are variable costs. This is the total variable cost, so that's going to increase. It goes down and then starts to go back up again. I'm sorry, the marginal cost goes down and then goes back up. The variable cost, the total variable cost, continues to go up at inconsistent rates, we'll say. Then the total cost, you just add those two together. All of these three things are to set up marginal cost and average total cost are two critically important ones. Marginal cost is either the change in total cost or the change in variable cost. It would be the same either way. So from 580 to 640 is 60, from 80 to 140 is also 60. If fixed costs change, that has no impact on marginal cost. So I change fixed cost to 1,000. If I do the math, the differences between each one still remains exactly the same. So a change in fixed cost does not change marginal cost. So marginal cost is most closely linked to changes in variable costs. If variable costs increase, then marginal cost will increase along with it. Okay? The average cost, all of these are per unit cost, so it would make sense that these, especially as the denominator gets bigger, right? All of these numbers become smaller than these numbers. Okay, so average total cost should be smaller numbers. These are higher numbers than we typically see on the graph, but average fixed cost is the one that's always decreasing. So make sure you know that. And average total cost, this is the one that we're comparing against the price to see if we're profitable. So if my average total cost is 156 and the price is 150, I'm losing money. If the average total cost is 156 and my price is 200, that means that I'm making $44 per unit or whatever. So those two, as we know, are the critically important ones. Okay. On the graph, remember the marginal cost kind of looks like a Nike swoosh, but a little bit more of an upward slope to it. Average total cost, a little bit of a smile. Average variable cost, kind of a smirk. You do not have to draw this, okay, on the test. So this will be given to you, you'll have to evaluate it. All right, the gap in between here is average fixed cost, but what we need to know is what happens to each curve when fixed cost or variable cost changes. All right, so if fixed costs increase, what's gonna happen is only average total cost is gonna increase. All right, so this goes up, creating a bigger mouth for average fixed cost. So average fixed cost increases. Average variable cost obviously is gonna stay the same because variable cost hasn't changed. As we said, change in fixed cost has no impact on marginal cost. So the only curve that changes is average total cost, which also changes average fixed cost because it increases the mouth, or the cornucopia, if you will. Okay. Make sure you study these costs first before looking at perfect competition. All right. If there's a change in variable cost, well, it makes sense that the average variable cost has to go up, right? Well, if average variable cost goes up, well, then average total cost has to go up too, because that's part of, average variable cost is part of average total cost, and because variable cost is linked to marginal cost, that goes up too. The whole graph goes up uniformly, and average fixed cost does not change, right? Because the numbers over here, as far as average fixed costs, do not change at all if the variable costs change. So that gap in between is going to be exactly the same, just the whole thing shifts up. All right, so those are the cost curves. We know that this is a really important position in long run equilibrium, where MC hits ATC. This is my long run ATC and price, and this is my long run quantity, all right, in perfect competition. Okay, and this will be total revenue and total cost. And I don't even have my market or anything in there, but I know where MC equals ATC, that's my long run spot. So that's at the lowest point of ATC. For the most part, what's gonna happen, I'm not gonna have any average variable cost curve in there when we're talking about perfect competition. It'll just be that. Okay, but when I'm just talking about the cost curves, you need to know what they all look like, what the gap is, and also MC also hits average variable cost at its lowest point as well. All right, let's take a look at some perfect competition graphs. All right, well, the graph on the left is more or less there for show, right? It's the one on the right, come on, that really matters, right? This is the graph for the market for wheat, and this is the graph for the farmer. We'll say this is Joe Farmer. All right, and I've shown these graphs many, many times. You may want to watch this several times over if you're having trouble understanding the graphs. This is the graph for the market. This is all the farmers combined in the United States, the demand of all the consumers in the United States, and that's the market for wheat, and it's $12 a bushel. And this farmer can't do anything about it. That's what the price of wheat is. And we get our Mr. DARP, okay, right there. Marginal revenue, demand, average revenue, and price. Sometimes I refer to this as Mr. DARP price. Just to reinforce the fact, if I ask you what the price is, you just gotta look for the horizontal line, and that's the answer, okay? And again, if you don't know what Mr. DARP stands for, pause the video. Make sure you know that that's marginal revenue, demand, average revenue, and price, okay? And they're all equal to each other in perfect competition. The first place I've got to find is where MR equals MC. Well, here's MR, here's MC, you know, make a trail, boom, there's my spot, all right? Well, that is my quantity of max profit. I already know my price is 12, so we're really just trying to determine the quantity, which is 50. That's my quantity of max profit. It doesn't matter if we're a profit or a loss, that is the best place to be, where MR equals MC. Now, the average total cost is not this point here. It is this point over here. So I'm gonna make that 10, we'll say this is 9. 10 is the average total cost. Here's my quantity of max profit, go up, okay, and then come over here, this is my average total cost. So now I have my 3 rectangles. I've got my total revenue rectangle, I've got my total cost rectangle, and then I've got the isthmus of profit right here. All right, so my total revenue equals the price, 12 times 50. That's gonna be 600. My total cost is 10 times the same quantity, 50, which is 500, and my profit is 100. 600 minus 500, okay? And give me some green, give me some green. I don't have any green, so here's some blue. This isthmus here is my region of profit, okay? And if I did my math correctly, 12 minus 10 is 2 times 50, also 100. So I verified in 2 ways that that is the correct answer. All right? Well, there's profit to be made, my friends. So do more people want to become wheat farmers? Yes. Never mind the fact that they only made $100. This is all theoretical stuff. Nobody goes into a business to make $100. All right? So, firms are going to join the industry. Okay, this is also known as the industry graph. So that's interchangeable. Industry graph or market graph. This could be Joe Farmer or the graph for the individual firm, the individual business. Well, what's going to happen? Firms join and supply increases until the price goes down, 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 Jay Sean, all the way to $9. Here's where MC equals ATC. 9 is my long run price and average total cost. 40 is my long run quantity, okay? So my supply increases until we get to that point. I hopefully lined it up pretty okay, I think I did. And $9 is my long run price, okay? And what is my profit in the long run? 0. My long run total revenue is now 9 times 40, or 360, and my long run total cost is also 9 times 40, 360. In the long run, those should all be equal to each other, and then we end up with break even or 0 profit. It's called normal profit when we get into officially discussing that. Don't worry about that right now. All right? If you didn't understand that, watch it over again, but I'm going to go through it again very slowly. We started with the price set by the market at $12. Boom, that creates our Mr. Dart all the way across for $12. We have our cost curves, we find where MR equals MC. That's the quantity of max profit. I draw vertical down to this number. This 70 doesn't mean anything, okay? That is not the quantity of max profit. This is my marginal cost curve. This is my average total cost curve. Someday I'll care about this intersection, but that day ain't today, okay? I care about this intersection where MR equals MC, okay? This 20 is diminishing marginal returns, not part of our calculations. Here's my quantity of max profit, 50, 12 times 50, 600 total revenue, 10 times 50, 500 total cost. My profit is 100, 2 times 50. There's profit to be made. Firms join, supply increases, bringing the price down past even this $10 all the way to where marginal cost hits average total cost. And I'll just quickly outline, this will be my long run total revenue and total cost are both represented by this rectangle. That's the long run, okay? All right, I'm gonna pause the video right here. We're at about 15 minutes, so you probably need to grab a taffy apple or something, maybe a slice of pumpkin pie, and come back and we'll talk about a loss, okay? And I'll do a little bit about elasticity review as well.